everybody. It's Keisha Sumner, also known as the Ivy Marketing Mogul. I am here with my girl, Dana Shay. And this is a really kind of laid back broadcast today, doing a quick video, something that, Dana actually had a really good idea about, about it from a story that I told her yesterday. And so we're just going to kind of, feed off of each other, give some really good tips here in just a minute, and kind of take you in and talk a little bit about what we've been doing online and all that good stuff. But today's focus today is multiple streams of no income.
No income.
So yeah, so I'm gonna actually have Dana kick it off a little bit because she had the idea, and to kind of talk about why she had this idea, what brought about it, and all that good stuff. So
yeah,
Dana, take it away.
All right. Well, hey guys, I'm Dana Shay, and I was talking to Keisha, and she, was telling me about a conversation she was having on her Facebook account, which is very common, where people think so many times that they have to be involved in like a million different businesses and have all these different multiple streams of income, and that is a good idea from people who are taught. Or I should say, like millionaires, people who are established in their businesses, who have several different streams coming in. But like I was telling Keisha, the problem is when you first get started in a business, you can't start a business and then 5 minutes later start another one, and then 2 weeks later start another one, and then a month later start another one, because you end up not having multiple streams of income. You end up having multiple streams of no income because none of those businesses are viable yet. And so, we both kind of know, this, Keisha, from experience and from watching other people struggle and other people get involved with the business because they like the idea. And then they go, oh, and now I can use that idea to fuel this idea. And then they get so, like, busy and all over the place. And this whole, like, fallacy of multitasking comes in. And then they just give it all up and they haven't made any money in any business.
Yep. Yeah, and it's funny because the story that I had was yesterday. I was online, had put a blog post up, and I got some likes on it. So I reached out to the folks and just made some conversation, trying to check out what they're doing online. And a young lady said to me, and I said, what business are you in? She said, oh, I'm in this, and I'm in this, and I'm in this, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of business.
A lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of businesses you're in. So I said, how are you doing with them? And she said, oh, I guess just got started on one. This other one, I've been in for a year, doesn't really kick off to the summer. And this one is, doing okay. So it got, me to thinking, about my own story, where, this past, we just got back from an event in Chicago, and I found myself getting a lot of accolades for having lost some weight, but I wasn't on the leaderboard, nor did I have a red lanyard around my neck. And so it got me to thinking that, you're always, and I'm there's a lot of people that have this plight where, you're into a lot of different things, and really at the end of the day, it's because you're not establishing any success in any one thing. And the problem with that is if you don't establish that success, you're not going to get an audience that'll even follow you somewhere else when you do eventually have some success. So, if you look at some of the prominent people who are, billionaires and things like that, their focus was solely first on doing one thing, getting really good at it, and then establishing themselves somewhere else. For instance, Bill Gates, he was when he first started out, he was solely on the computer. That's what he did. He was on the computer. He learned how to write programs and things like that when he was in school, but he was only solely working on building a computer, and then he established himself in other things. So, the problem with multiple streams of income is it's great, and I believe in it, but you have to establish yourself first in something, get successful there, and then you can move on, and then because that success in the next thing will come faster.
Yeah, and I love what you said about people aren't going to follow you to, business B if you haven't done anything in business A. And, we
Absolutely.
both work online and we both have, a list of people that we reach out to every day. And those people have to be able to see that, we're consistent, number one, we're focused because people want to be able to follow somebody who can lead them. So if you're all
Absolutely.
over the place and one day you're talking to them about Mary Kay and the next day you're talking to them about prepaid legal and the next day you're talking to them about Empower Network and the next
Yep.
day you're like, ooh, let me show you what can help your Empower Network business. They're going to be like, this person is so scatterbrained. I'm moving on to somebody who's a little bit more focused. And
Exactly.
so I look at people like, like Danny Johnson, for example. Danny Johnson she's the owner of five businesses. Sorry, five businesses. And the thing though about it is that Danny Johnson, again, she started out growing one business.
Yep.
She got that one business set up and successful. And then another thing that people don't realize is that these people outsource a lot. Like
Yep.
even though
They
Danny's
do.
name is on those businesses as CEO, she's not, the COO. She's not the chief operations officer. She's not actually the one in the grind working the businesses, and I think that when the normal average Joe comes online or starts a business, that's something that they don't really realize is that you don't really have the wherewithal nor the money most of the time to start up five different companies because these are businesses. These are not just simply opportunities or, hobbies. These are businesses and it takes time, effort, and money in order to grow a business.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's a good point because you had mentioned that a little bit earlier too. How it may seem to the public as though they've got their hands in all these different things, but really at the end of the day, they have a whole bunch of people that are helping them to establish all of those companies,
Right.
and they're not doing it by themselves. And just like we said, multiple streams. I think we both believe in multiple streams of income, but you can't have the multiple streams of income unless you have success, at least success in the first thing. People don't know the story behind the story. They
Right.
just see the outcome. They just see the results of somebody being very successful, but they don't know. They typically don't look at the history and to see where people actually started out. And typically the story is always, they started out grinding. They may have lost some things, lost some people along the way, but they did this because they focused. And at the end of the day, it's really about focusing on one thing. And just yesterday, I sent an email, or rather, I put a post in my team's Facebook group, and I said I have a small confession, and I talked about my story, and I talked about how I'm really focused right now 100% on being dedicated all the way to Empower Network because that's where my success has been thus far, and so I want to be able to take it to the next level and bring it up exponentially. And I can't do that if I'm focusing on trying to lose weight. There's only one person that I know of who can do multiple things at at one time and be good at it, and that's one of thousands of people that I know. So I know that I can't do it, and so our focus and my focus is straight Empower Network, and we're seeing the good results of that as well.
Absolutely. With me, I'm a writer, and I know my original intent when I started Empower Network was, I was going to work Empower Network during the day, I was going to do my writing business at night, and I was going to be rich.
Yeah.
And, and I am still going to be rich. I'm already rich.
That's
But
right.
what I realized is that even it's not really the hours. It's not just the hours, I should say, in the day. It's your mindset. It's your time commitment. Like when you write, for example, I might not be like at the computer typing, but I might be thinking about an idea. A creative story might come to mind. I might be thinking about, okay, how am I going to market this and get that out there? So I can't really be doing that and then trying to work my Empower business also. And for a while, I too struggled because I was like, okay, I've got these two things going on, and I always felt torn. And so then, I had the great idea. I think, my mentor, Tracy Walker, told me, she said, why don't you focus on one thing and then get that one thing going and then do the other thing? And I was like, duh, and of course, when someone is giving you that sort of wisdom and they're making, you know, 1,000 times more money than you are, however much money she's making right now, it would be wise to listen.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I started putting all of my focus and all of my energy into Empower Network. And there's going to come a day very soon where this business is going to be running on autopilot. And then I'll be able to put all my focus and energy into my writing. And then I'll be able to use Empower Network, to help market my writing. And, both you and I, you were talking about that Chicago event, and, both you and I were privileged to be on the stage with hundreds of other people who earned at least 5,000 up to $1 million+ in this business. And how did that feel to be able to know that because you have now decided to focus on one thing, now you're starting to see the results of your labor?
Oh man, it's amazing. I mean, it's given me a renewed sense of really where I need to be and what I need to be doing, even just for my team. Somebody had asked me what my greatest asset was in Empower Network, and I said it's my team. I love my team. Like, I love them so much, and I don't even know if they even understand how much I love them.
Yeah.
Because they're so focused and they're dedicated, and they really want this as much as I do. And that's the one thing that I have wanted so badly, because I have been in companies where I've been pushing people and pushing people and pushing people, and it's something that they haven't wanted for themselves. And I wanted it more for them than they wanted for themselves. And at some point, you have to make a decision. I had to make a decision on whether I was going to go all in or not. It was the difference between, do I pay this bill or do I pay this one-time bill, or do I go all in and establish myself to become a multiple earner of $3,000 incomes, or $1,200, $1,500 incomes, $5,000 incomes? And I said, all right, well, I was sitting in front of my computer and I was like, wait a second, I could pay this one bill, which I'm going to have to pay again next month.
Right.
Or I can pay, or I can, go get all in, establish myself as a leader, and have the ability to make those multiple $1,000, have those multiple $1,000, $3,000, $5,000 days. So the decision was really easy.
Yeah.
I said, well, let me establish myself as a leader of my company. And it was interesting what happened afterwards when I made that decision. Very easy, very simple decision by going all in, was that I established myself as a leader. People came to me out of nowhere and said, I saw a video that you did, and this and this and this, and I actually got signups from that.
Wow.
So as a result of just going all in and being on the stage and establishing myself as a leader, I ended up getting what I was looking for, and it was just an easy decision.
Yeah.
And Dana, I know that same or something similar happened to you. How did it feel to be on stage? How did it feel to be up there? Now, was it your first time ever actually being on a stage?
Absolutely. I mean, well, I've been on stages before because I speak, but not to be recognized for earning thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in a business that, to be quite honest, I got in thinking, oh, I'm going to make an extra $500 a month, maybe. Like that was my initial goal. And then you start surrounding yourself with these leaders who are like, oh, $10,000 a month is kind of weenie. And you're like, well, dang, let me raise the bar up a little bit. So to be able to be on that stage, I had two feelings. The first feeling was, I'm so proud of myself because I started with nothing, which is where a lot of people start with. I didn't have a list. I didn't have any money to start this business. I didn't have, anything really other than the belief that I could do it.
Yeah.
And so I felt this like great sense of like pride and honor. But then I looked out in the audience and I saw two types of people. The first group of people I saw were people who were clapping, and you could see in their eyes, they were saying with their eyes, I'm going to be on that stage next time too, because I can do this. And then I saw other people who were like looking around like, what in the world just happened here? You know, what happened to the person who was sitting next to me? What happened to the whole row in front of me? They're no longer here, you
Mm.
know. And I kind of had this funny picture of like the rapture, you know, like
Yeah.
what happened to everybody. And with the Power Network, I can literally say like the stage was packed, like packed. You couldn't. I was like standing like a sardine, and that just
Yeah.
goes to show you that there are so many people who are having success in this business,
Yeah.
and you can do it. You know, and you all, Keisha mentioned going all in, and what do we mean by that? If you're new to Empower Network, or if you don't really know what that means, it means just what she said: setting yourself, establishing yourself as a leader. Because you all know it's only $25 to start Empower Network, but let's be real, you're not going to make $15,000 a month paying $25 a month.
Yep.
And so when you decide to go all in, that means that mentally you're saying, this is it. I am mentally all in this business. I am going to set up my schedule so that I'm actually working my business. You know, it's funny that so many people go to a job every day from 9 to 5:30 or whatever. They have a boss tell them what they're going to work on all day long. They do all these tasks all day long, but then they can't put that same focus and drive and energy into their own business and into saying, you know what, I can determine what I'm going to do in 8 hours. And the beautiful thing about Empower is it doesn't take 8 hours to do. You
Yep.
can set aside a few hours a day and say, okay, these are the things that I'm going to work on today. And so being all in is a mental state, really, but it's also a financial decision that you make, that you say, you know what, I, in good faith, ethically cannot promote a product that I don't own. And so I'm going to buy all the products that are available to me because number one, you need them. The marketing training that's in our products, you need. I tell people, I don't care if you want to sell Empower Network or not, you need the information that's in the products.
That is
And
true.
so when you make a decision to go all in, you buy all the products because you need it. You also buy all the products because now you're in a position that when your team comes to you and they say, hey, Keisha, you know, I've been blogging or I've been marketing, but I don't know how to do such and such. Now you don't have to just pull from your own resources and say, okay, well, let me help you. You can say, you know what? I know exactly where that information is. That is covered in the 15K per month formula. Why don't you go ahead and buy that? And so you're not just selling people stuff just to sell them stuff. You're helping people by, first of all, being in a position where you can help them. Because I don't know about you, Keisha, but I know I've been in positions where I've seen a need and I've really wanted to help, but I didn't have anything. I didn't have the money to help that need. I didn't have the resources. But getting all in actually establishes you to the place now you do have the means. Now you can tell them that information is covered in the inner circle, that information is covered in the 15K, or you need to listen to the master's course because that's going to help get your mind right.
Yep.
And so going all in definitely put me in a position of leadership. And it also, I think, did something for my team, you know, that they were like, wow, you know, she's serious about her business. We need to get serious. And I started seeing my team become more focused just because I made that one decision.
Yep. Absolutely. Wow. Dana, you hit a lot of good nuggets there. Because and it's funny that we're having, you know, the same experiences because a team member of mine said last night, you know, he asked me, well, you know, how do you explain, you know, what we do? And I said, it's very simple. I got it from here. I got it from one of our leaders, and it was, I believe it may have been in an inner circle. Well, the inner circle is one of our products. And it's interesting that I'm able to actually send somebody some information that I've learned, and it's so different and it's so new. Just be able to say, you know what, I know what you need, and I know how to get you over that hump. So go here, click, and buy the 15K formula. It's right in lesson 4.
Right.
You know? And so, yeah, I mean, this has been such a great hangout. I mean, I know we could probably go on for hours and hours and hours. So, you know, just to ask to wrap everything up, do you have any last, you know, thoughts, any last words of wisdom for the folks out there?
Yeah, I would just tell them, you know, I tell people if you're looking for a way to make money online and you're really serious about growing a business, Empower Network is where it's at. I mean, not only do we have the 100% commission plan, which that's nobody else is doing that, or I should say other people have tried to duplicate it and they're not successful. So not only do we have the fastest way for you to actually earn money, but the growth that you'll experience in this company, I mean, that's a whole nother hangout we could do, Keisha, just how much we've both grown as people.
Yeah.
So I would say stop hesitating. You know, even if you don't have the money to get all in, you need to start somewhere. And $25 a month is laughable. You know, I actually hope that they raise the price. I
Yeah.
think it's just crazy that we give this away for $25. So I would definitely encourage you to click the link, whatever link you see below, and get in. You know, whether you get in with Keisha, whether you get in with me, it doesn't matter. The point is that you get in because we want to help people. I'm on a mission to help people see how easy it is to really live the life of your dreams. And I'm doing it. I'm not preaching something that I'm hoping and wishing. Like I'm doing it. And so that would just be my last thing is that if you're watching, you need to get all in. If you're already in Empower Network, you need to get all the products. And you need to take your businesses seriously because in 30 days, our next event is less than 90 days away. You can be on that stage saying, I've earned thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in my business as well.
Yep. Awesome. Those are great, great words. And, just to put my thumbprint on here, you have a decision to make.